Light's not on. Light's not on.
He's ready though.
Okay. All right. Good evening and welcome to the City of Daly City Library Board of Trustees regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, April 16th, 2024, here at City Hall. And if you wish to watch it on live telecast, it is on Comcast Channel 27, or you can go on YouTube.com Daly City Video Meetings, or you can go to the Daly City website, www.dalycity.org. And, sorry, turn that on. So I got it but blank right now. Call to order. Okay. What do I do? I'll get call to order. Yes, sorry. So I call to order and pledge allegiance. Blank. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Chayla, may I get a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Trustee Goodman.
Here.
And Trustee Trunco.
Here.
And President Pacheco.
Pacheco, present.
Excellent. Trustee Logarta and Vice President Lex have let me know that were not able to make it today.
Okay. Now I'll ask for the approval of the minutes. Can I get a second on that?
I wasn't here, so I can't approve it.
A second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Abstain.
Okay. And if you could go ahead and also approve the agenda.
I'm
Do we
sorry.
need to have a full group or a majority to approve? Because I can't approve it since I wasn't in attendance last month.
Okay, well, we could carry it forward to the next
Okay.
meeting.
I asked for approval of agenda. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, can I approve the agenda even
Oh,
if?
yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just this one.
Aye. Oh, I thought it was last month.
Okay, for those who wish to make a public comment, please fill out a slip at the front and give it to Chayla Anderson. Now, we are going to have a presentation from a report for the Daly City Public Library Association's DCPLA. Hello, Patricia.
Hello. Is this on? It is. Good evening, President Pacheco and the entire Library Board of Trustees. Thank you so much for having me. Tricia DeVera, Secretary for the Daly City Public Library Associates. So this evening, I'd like to report out a couple of upcoming events for DCPLA that we would like to invite you all and the entire Daly City community that's watching. On Thursday, April 25th, DCPLA will be hosting the Daly City Youth Poet Laureate Commencement for the 2024-2025 Youth Poet Laureate at the Daly City City Hall, located here at 333 90th Street in Daly City. The program will be from 6:30 to 7, featuring the performances by the 2024-2025 Daly City Youth Poet Laureate finalists, and a reception will follow from 7 to 8 with a cake. So we hope that you can all attend to show support for these amazing teens who are working so diligently on putting this together, and to help advertise this wonderful program. It really is truly a benefit for our teens to be able to express this way, and that's through the poets. And so this is an opportunity for do that, and we hope that this will be able to continue. So please help support these youths. The second thing we have on the calendar is saving the date for our Art and Lit Fest that's coming up Saturday, November 2nd from 11 to 3 at the Ceremony Center. Hold on one second. This is actually our third annual Art and Lit Fest. So if you haven't been to our event, you are missing out. This event provides a platform for local artists, vendors, musicians, authors, painters, dancers, and many more artists to showcase their talent and artistry. It'll be a fun time for all ages. More details to come as we are still in the planning stages. I would also like to take this opportunity for businesses and individuals who would love to support our local artists at the same time to help support our Daly City libraries as well by providing an opportunity to sponsor at the Art and Lit Fest. You can find more details on how to do so by going to dcpla.org and locate our Art and Lit Fest tab at the top of the homepage. For those of you who would love to showcase your creativity and host a table to sell your handmade goods, books, and other crafts, you can inquire by going to dcpla.org and completing the vendor form that is located in the Art and Lit Fest tab at the top of the homepage. And any musicians, painters, graphic artists that would like to show off their talents, there is a form for you as well. Go to dcpla.org and go to the Art and Lit Fest tab at the top of the homepage and click on Artist Interest Form. Finally, we ask that the Daly City community, as well as our own Library Board of Trustees, to please support our program and mail in your dues. If you're not currently a member, please go to our website, dcpla.org, and go to the donate link on the top right-hand corner, which will take you to the membership link where you can sign up for a minimum of $20. Again, all membership signups benefit the libraries directly. What you give towards our libraries, they give back to your community tenfold. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening, and if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer. Thanks very much.
Okay, to my fellow trustees, are there any questions?
No, but it sounds really cool, so.
Yes, we are looking forward to having that Art and Lit Fest coming up, and the Youth Poet Laureate, which is next week. That's going to be a fun time. So please, if you can attend, it'll be a really fun event. And to our community, help support your local students. Yeah.
So where will the Port Laureate take place? I totally missed when you said.
Right here.
Right here.
The
Oh, okay.
commencement will be right here. Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So it'll be here. It's not for a very long, hour and a half, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And when did you say that was? I'm sorry.
That's on the 25th.
Of this month.
Thursday, the 25th of this month, April 25th.
April 25th.
Yeah.
All right.
Starts at 6:30.
Okay. I'll try to make it.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. De Vera?
No.
No.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Tricia, it was good
Thanks,
seeing
Tricia.
you. Okay. Next is the Director's Report, opioid overdose prevention. What is the update on that, Ms. Anderson?
Not a lot of exciting developments, but I did want to report that we do have approval to proceed with this.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
so,
That's great news.
So there's just some
Okay.
logistics still to be worked out, but yeah, this is definitely something that's approved to move forward. So
Great.
I'm happy
That's
to report
great.
that. And also, I know Trustee Goodman had inquired about
Mm-hmm.
the fentanyl test strips, and I did do
Okay.
a little research. The only public library that I found that was doing this was actually a Canadian library, and they
Oh,
had on their
interesting.
yeah. Well, I think it just so happened that they had on their staff a passionate harm reduction advocate, and they were also a public health
Oh,
educator. And
okay.
so I think that's a huge component of
I could
doing
see
the
that.
strips is
Yeah,
having that education. And we talked about it with the librarians, and I
Yeah,
just think it might be beyond what we're able to do. But I was really happy to see that they are more available now than they were in the past.
So even San Francisco Public Library, like their main library, they
I did an online search and I wasn't able to find.
interesting.
Yeah,
I would have
yeah.
thought them for sure, even.
Yeah, it's.
But I mean,
they
a
definitely
tenderloin
carry.
has
They
some.
definitely carry the Narcan. Yeah,
Good job.
Okay, thanks for the report back.
of course.
Trustee Tronco, is there any questions you have about it or any comments?
I have no questions. It's only a comment because I guess I attended like a recent like art event in San Francisco. So it was interesting when we talked about this like in the last meeting. I actually saw it was in an art gallery where they actually had that. Like so, I was like, oh, so this is like a it really like, people are making it available. So it was interesting to witness that.
Yeah, it definitely. I think. Well, San Francisco, has unfortunately witnessed so many
Yeah.
overdoses, so
Yes.
it makes sense there. But these sorts of things really happen in all kinds of communities, and the key is to have this ready access, quick access to this ability to completely stop and reverse the overdose. So.
Are we the first library in San Mateo County to introduce this, or is this starting to kind of gain traction?
I believe the San Mateo County Library System is working with County Health. They have that relationship
okay.
already. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And I believe they may also be doing some training for the public as well. But I'm sure they're bringing in
Yeah, of
public health
course.
experts to do that. Yeah.
You,
cool.
you know, I'm sorry, let me cut you off. You know, it's interesting since you're talking about opioids, and it's amazing. I'm starting to see retailers having disposable needle things, to help, with in these kind of situations. So what that's telling me, it's not just a local issue, but it seems to be a nationwide issue. That that this is a serious problem, and unfortunately, it is happening in public. And I'm glad that the Daly City Public Libraries are really active in this because it is a national problem.
Yeah, it's obviously in Daly City, our first responders have carried Narcan, I'm sure, for some
Right.
time. And so they were really helpful in being able to provide, the wisdom that they've gained. And they will have it on them. But I think just, any other additional locations you can have it is going to improve someone's chances.
Exactly.
Hopefully we never
exactly.
use it, but if we
Is
ever
it
have
becoming a bigger problem in Daly City with like opioid overdoses, or it's just
I have
awareness mostly?
Yeah, I think it's more awareness and the ready access to this
Sure.
this good solution, or
Yeah.
remediation. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so now we move on to the library facilities update. All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, so this was something that was requested at the previous meeting by Vice President Lex. So just actually lots of things going on, but they're all in various stages. So Westlake, I think, is probably the most visible project. I'll just call it a project. So I do have a good update. The roofing company is currently actively working on repairing the roof.
Oh, good. Good.
So there was a long period of time where there was kind of an impasse, and so there was no action happening. But right now they are working on it. They should be completed in 2 to 3 weeks, and that what they're doing is supposed to solve this leaking problem. The construction has caused a little bit of disruption. It's blocking some parking and those sorts of things, but thus far it hasn't impacted the library's ability to be open. And then they will, once they're done with their repairs, the city will be doing water testing. So we will be checking to make sure it did in fact
Oh, very good.
fix it. And then after we're assured that it is in fact repaired, the next stage is going to be replacing the interior fixtures finishes that have been damaged by water. And at one point, just because the leaking, it was such a protracted problem and it kept recurring, our public works folks just stopped replacing the tiles because they just kept getting ruined. So we're going to replace all the ceiling tiles and hopefully restore it to. It's just a beautiful library with so much light and the
Yes.
beautiful fish tank. So we would like it to look nice again. So
Did you say fish tank?
yeah,
Oh,
have you not seen them?
no, I'm gonna try to make a visit this
They
week.
actually
yeah.
have a saltwater
Oh,
aquarium.
nice. Love saltwater
That's-
tanks.
Anyway, so we are cautiously optimistic that we're nearing resolution of the issues that we've had, because this has been going on for a really long time.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So, and then regarding the Ceremony Library project, that's near and dear to me just because that's actually where my office is. So the elevator HVAC lighting project is, it's actually still in the plan review stage. So that's where the building official reviews the plans to make sure that they're meeting the building code, all that business. And so our design firm is currently working on addressing the feedback that was received from the building official. This part of the process is taking longer than expected, so it's delaying the next part, which would be going out to bid for a company to do actual construction. So it looks like it is going to be postponed somewhat. The upside of that is that we will be able to conduct summer learning programs at the ceremony. I thought we wouldn't be able to do it at Ceremony Library, and that is one of our more popular spots. So it looks like we will in fact, because we won't have started this project. We'll be able to use those spaces for that. So I think that's a positive side. Some delays are not really that out of the ordinary. So hopefully we'll see some movement soon. And then Bayshore Library, this is possibly the least interesting project, but it's a good one nonetheless. So as you'll recall, we received some infrastructure funding from the state to replace the backup generator for the facility. This is for the library and community center out there. The old one was end of life, and so once that's completed, it will allow the library to have power during a power outage, which I think would enable us to be a respite for the neighborhood particularly if there's a prolonged outage. We saw with the last one in the Ceremony area how there was a need, a place for people to go to get internet, a nice warm, well-lit place to be during a power outage. So this project did go out to bid. It was awarded to SCC Electric, and it's in the design phase, but they should be, most importantly, ordering the generator shortly, I hope. It's kind of a specialty item. It's not your ordinary piece of equipment. So I was told that there's typically a very, very long lead time. That's why they're hurrying to order it. So it could be 6 months before it comes in. So it might be a while. But I'm happy that that's going to move forward. So those are the updates. I think the only library that doesn't have anything happening building wise would be our John Daly Library in the War Memorial, but it's still there, standing strong.
So my comment is that I'm glad that everything is progressing well. I'm glad to hear that we are updating our libraries, which is very important. For us to update, we have to keep up with the times. Times do change really quickly, and we have to adapt. And I believe that these changes that are being made help us go in that direction. I'm happy to hear that Westlake is getting the treatment is finally getting, and it's also good for the Ceremony branch. We do need those summer programs for the children, because that is one thing that they do look forward to. But at the downside too, you also want to progress in making progress with what you want to add on that'll be beneficial to the community also. So, but I'm glad to hear that. So what is going on with Bayshore? You said it's a generator that needs to be replaced, and it met its lifespan already.
Yeah, so there was a generator there. I am not super knowledgeable about that. It's not something
Right.
I've ever
Me
had
neither.
to interact with. But my understanding is it was due for replacement, and so and instead of just swapping it out, they'll be swapping it out, but also adding some additional wiring so that we're able to have power from that generator within the library during
good.
power outages.
Very good. Okay. Any comments from my fellow trustees?
Charlie, I have a question somewhat related, but not totally directly, and maybe it's something more one of the other areas would discuss. But the parking situation in Saramonte, have they ever looked into it? Because it seems like on most days when you go, if it's sunny, everybody's on the tennis or on the field, and there's no parking for library, even though you've got the spots are 12, 24 minutes.
Yeah, I have noticed that. I have a Wednesday morning meeting, and when I come back, it's actually, I believe the impact is mainly our story time, so it's a positive thing, but you can just circle around. And
Yeah.
there's people, yeah. No, it looks like it's actually has the best parking of any of our facilities, but
I do realize that.
it's still full. I recall that there was some effort to kind of realign some of the spots, but it was not feasible in the
Yeah, I mean, we've
talked.
talked about in BPAC for pedestrian safety, right, and parking along that area.
There is that better pedestrian striping
Yep.
as you come in. That has improved things quite a bit.
Yeah, I was just curious specifically about library parking, if there would, if people ever come.
designate?
Yeah, if that's something to consider. I won't tell you the times I've double parked to throw stuff in the return thing, just because
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's a common thing. I also have observed, just because I am based there, that
Sure.
the electric charging stations, I think, also add an additional draw. It's just
It's
a
packed.
facility that has a lot of things that draw people to it. So yeah, it's
It is what it
very
is.
busy. And I mean, it seems like since the pandemic, it does just anecdotally seem like there's more impact on it. But I remember back in the day.
Oh, it used to be bad anyway.
Particularly on a sunny weekend.
Oh, yeah.
You just couldn't. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Aside from building up or down, I'm not sure how to how to address that.
Yeah, I mean, parking's forever a
Yeah.
situation.
Yes, it is a very, very popular area, for the community because, yeah, basketball courts, tennis courts, you have a big soccer field, baseball field,
Yeah.
picnic area, a community rec center. Now you have a library. So, and I can see where Trustee Goodman is saying that we need more parking, because if you have I'm sure it's always simultaneous events there. The courts are always full, the picnic area is always full. And then, you always have a big event at the rec center and then the library. You're like, oh, man,
So I wouldn't necessarily advocate for more parking because I do sit on another committee that parking is not how you do it, but I would advocate for spots for
Designated.
library. But then the thing is how you patrol it, if there's people there, and
Right.
if it's a 24-minute limit or 12-minute, who's going to patrol, and what are you going to do? Really put tickets on people's cars or give warnings?
And we have had issues with that at another facility, and we're not successful with,
Yeah.
with that. Yeah, it's just because people have free access, and some people use multiple
Yeah, oh, yeah.
parts of the complex. So it's not
It's not like it's not just you guys. South City has a even worse problem, and that's brand new. And depending on which library, they all have
Interesting.
different issues with parking. But just curious.
Yeah.
yeah. It's interesting too because, like I said, that's the one with the best parking.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one walks to the library anymore. I'm just kidding.
People do though.
I do. I walk to mine.
I do know. Well, before.
I walk to John Daly.
And there are multiple stops, kind of around that larger block.
Yeah.
For the bus, and so
Yes,
people
it's
do
at the
take
bottom of the
bus
hill
as
there,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's just crazy crowd on nice days.
it
Everybody's
is,
out there.
and it's been nice.
It's been a little too nice. We all want
Too
we all want
nice.
our walking in.
Yeah.
Okay, so Trustee Tronco, do you have any comments or any questions you'd like to add on, sir?
I guess for the other libraries, I want to know, like, because how Bayshore you were saying, Chela, like how that generator is being replaced. Do the other ones have like generators too?
No, actually, there is a generator for the War Memorial Community Center, but it's really for because that center is also during an emergency would be used by first responders. So it's for that. It's not going to just power generally the facility. And then neither of the other two do have any kind of backup power. No.
All right, that's it. Just wanted to ask. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, no. Okay, so let us move on to the mission statement.
So thank you for letting me put this on the agenda. As you'll recall, library and recreation services was restructured into separate departments, and part of that is it's very much a city thing. We have separate sections in our budget, and so I was tasked all of a sudden with, we need to have our own mission statement. And we've had various ones over the many years. And so this isn't something I don't think we could probably draft in an open meeting or wordsmith. But I did want to get as much input from different folks. We talked to the librarians already to see what sorts of things what sorts of values you might want to see in kind of called out in that mission statement. I'm trying to keep it short, but there's so much I want to put in there because I feel like there's so much that libraries do, so many things that they embody for the community. So I can tell you that I have like a really rough draft of a statement: serving our community by bringing people together to foster connection, providing opportunities for lifelong learning, and ensuring equitable access to services, information, and ideas. The feedback I got from the library managers actually was that that those were things that they felt were important to include. And then one of our librarians had received some kind of wisdom from a longtime library director that she passed on about the importance of calling out education, because lifelong learning is, I mean, it's obviously a kind of adjacent concept, but the self-directed education was something she thought would be valuable to include. So what I did was I kind of I just wanted to do a little bit of a survey, and I've kind of called out a few things that I had been thinking about, and then space for you guys if you wanted to add. This is, I mean, something like this, we're a living entity, the library, and so whatever we end up settling on, it's not, you know, we can adapt it in future years as well. So it's not a final. We're not, literally, it's not going to be etched in stone. It's going to be written on a computer page.
Well, just reading all these values that have already been put down, I agree with all of them. And that's what is in my head too. So, I mean, what
What
would you?
about
go
something
ahead.
that would include like the services? Like, you know how there's like free park passes and free this and things that you actually can get from the library that are kind of useful in the community. I don't know if there's a way to call it out in like
The more unusual.
Yeah, like I don't want to say special services because that has a lot of implication, but something to indicate that it's
Innovative.
yeah, like innovative services or something like above and beyond. Or you know how some of the libraries, I don't think we are, but they're doing things like you can check out puzzles, or there's like the libraries are not just what you would think about books anymore, right? Or necessarily DVDs, but there's a whole lot of other things. And then I would also say the other cool thing is the librarians are super useful. Like the resources, if you need stuff or you need help. But I don't know if you would call that out specifically. I mean, that is kind of part of you go to the library, there are resources, but I don't know if there's a way to say like innovative services that are offered to, do you know, like some of the cool things that you can get?
Yeah, we actually are in the process of adding puzzles and games.
Yeah, and I just got an alert from, I don't even know if it was you guys, it could have been SFPL about, it actually may have been Oakland, about coming to the library to check out your park passes. Like, come here, like, if you want to go hiking, get your park passes so you're not paying, you know, these other fees. And it's like, oh, these people are ingenious. It's like they're speaking like a love language. But I don't know if there's a way to call that out. And if you say that's a value, I mean, it's kind of a value add proposition, right?
I think it's I like the idea that not necessarily the specifics, but that we're always striving to find new ways to meet people's needs. I think that's part of it. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Because we do, I mean, people like books. People will always like books, but you know there are other things that kind of the interest kind of comes
Right.
and goes, and so it is really. It is something that we are always looking to add new things. One of the librarians signed up and was awarded these hiking backpacks. So, so we'll have those to check out at some point in the near
Oh, very
future.
cool. Yeah, I was just thinking a way to say something like innovative, or I don't want to use the word cool, although that's kind of how I would describe like cool services or cool, like cool activities. You
Yeah.
know, just a way to call it out. Maybe the word innovative is, I think that's what
Or
you
something
said,
like
or
that,
something
yeah.
like. I mean, cool would be like what all the cool kids would say, right? But I mean, to say something, it's different, unique.
That's interesting. Thank you for that.
Trustee Tronco, any comments or questions? I have none, but I do support this. If anyone has any ideas, please don't be afraid to put them down. Because the ideas I have in my head are starting to fall into these certain things. I'm like, never mind.
There, yeah, there's so much, and I didn't want to
Yeah.
over.
Like you
burden
can't
it.
pinpoint each
Yeah.
How about,
individual.
I don't know if this would fall under any of these, but how about after school programs?
Oh yeah.
You know, that would be great, you know, especially, I mean, I don't want to look ahead and spoil some kids summer by saying, how about after school programs? Then you're about to get into the summer vacation. Yeah, that would be great to have after school programs because there are many children out there that do need after school programs like extra tutoring, especially in the area of access to digital equipment. You know, many families don't have that. You know, due to it being very expensive. So that I would probably put down access to digital.
And then
yeah.
people who do homeschooling with their children.
Exactly.
Well, they are
Yes,
particularly
that would be great
make
too.
particular good use of the library.
And are there any programs for summer? I mean, you already said one. There's a.
Well, we
that
have
you
our
do.
annual summer learning program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's
Definitely.
okay.
And this is the mission statement is, you know, obviously an
Yeah.
important component, but we do kind of call out our core services. So stuff that makes the list but maybe can't get
Right.
nicely jammed into the statement could also kind of be called out in the
Sure.
rest of the document. It's I think it's a good reminder for us. You know, we get into the weeds of
Yeah.
operations.
Yes.
but,
Really
you
get
know,
in get
But
into
what we
this.
do
Right.
is, yeah, the library it's a valuable thing for our community.
It is. It's vital. You know. Okay. So anything else from my fellow trustees before we move on to the next agenda? Okay. So now we go into the community and library outreach. So is this when we talk about what we attended in the
Yes.
well, I attended 3 events. The first event I attended was the interview process for the vacant city council seat that was left open by former Mayor Ray Buenaventura, and it was such a pleasure to be there because you hear so many different views from various applicants. And when it finally boiled down to one, it is such a, it's just such a great feeling to be with community. And of course, congratulations to Teresa Perano on that. So that was the first one. And the second one I attended was the, what was that? Oh, I attended the meeting of the Daly City Park and Rec upon the invitation of Commissioner Montanez. He told me since you know you invited me to the library board of trustees meeting, I'd like to invite you to mine. And it was a very good meeting. I can see where we really coincide with them a lot. It was such an eye opener for me. I was like, oh, okay, so this how you know work with us, but now we're separate departments. But I can see where we work together. So that was great. And meeting Denise Brown was such a pleasure. She's she's a great person to be with. And the last one was I was here when Teresa Perano was sworn in for the city council seat. So it was great to see you, Chayla, and as the rest of the other city officials and city workers, and most importantly, the members of the community. It's great to see us all together, celebrating, and there's no bickering. So that was great. So those were the 3 events I attended. How about to my fellow trustees? Did you attend any community events or library outreach?
Yesterday, I went to a community event focusing on workers' rights. It was held at Holy Child Episcopal Church I believe it's on Southgate. It was being led by Anakbayan Daly City and Gabriella Daly City. So it was interesting to hear stories of workers in terms of understanding their rights in the workplace or things that they didn't understand at the time. So, yes.
Valuable.
Oops, sorry.
And I went to the DCPLA St. Patrick's Day luncheon, which was great. Yeah, I missed the last one, so
I
but that
miss them all
was
the time.
that was a lot of fun, except for food running out. Minor problems. We were at the table that got called out at the very end. Yeah, yeah.
Are those always very well attended? Or?
It's my first time, but from
I mean,
my
was it packed when you were there?
Oh, it's beyond packed.
Okay.
Yeah. They're very popular.
It was fun. A lot of good speakers, and the tap dancing. It probably was not tap dancing, but
Irish dance.
yes, I was like, wait, that's Irish jig. And then I'm on the BPAC committee, so we just had our meeting about a month ago, and so it's always talking about pedestrian safety and walking, biking, and getting over to the beaches safer.
Yeah, we had some displays that we created to kind of support the whole Vision Zero.
Yes, I
initiative.
saw it. I think it was last year in Bayshore. I remember seeing a lot of that. I can't remember if I saw something in Serramonte, but I remember Bayshore. They've always had a lot for Vision Zero and safety, which I think I took pictures of to share with them because
Nice.
that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
Anything else from my fellow trustees? No, okay. Now we go to the next agenda, which is library board online presence. Go ahead, Jenna.
I just added this or kept this on the agenda in case there was any further discussion. I didn't know. You don't have to, but if you still want to have a little biographical blurb and you haven't submitted one, send it to me anytime, really, is fine. And otherwise, I can kind of phase this off the agenda if we're done kind of.
Yeah,
with the
I
main-
wanted to say with that, everyone should be happy. I increased my library presence by, you know, how you have like the library accounts and you can post like reviews and updates of what you're reading. And yeah, so now almost everything that I see or read has reviews. So I'm really going, I mean, I do it all on Goodreads, so, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic
Yeah.
because you're contributing not just locally, but every library that uses the same online
Yeah, and
catalog.
I know that there's like a few followers, so it's kind of cool whether it gets people to read a new book or they think, oh, I was going to read this and this review is horrible. I mean, I try and
You've saved
be
them time.
like, yeah, you know, you try and be even-handed, but I like the idea of it. I like, you know, seeing what people are doing, reading, etc.
Did I link to your?
Goodreads. I think you
I
linked
believe
to
I did,
my.
yes.
I think both of them, but I can double check.
Okay. So are we ready to kind of phase this one out, or would you like me to carry it back to the next meeting?
What would you favor, Trustee Tronco?
I don't mind phasing it out.
Phasing it out?
I
Okay.
would just so encourage everyone, especially up here, that we all do have a bio of some sort and say something about us and maybe what we like about the libraries or something. That's just my own 2
Simple.
cents.
Yeah, with me, I would just want it simple.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've seen mine. It's great. Just say, you know, Gary Pacheco, President of the Library Board of Trustees. You know, his term started here, term ended there. That's great. I mean, because me personally, I don't want to sound like paranoid, but you know, you put too much up there, people, you know, who surf on the thing will start looking at you. You know?
You could put, I mean, things
Yeah.
that are public information, like
Right.
that you have served on all these other commissions, which
Okay.
is kind of an unusual thing and gives you a different perspective. So yeah,
Yeah.
there might be stuff you could put there that
Okay,
wouldn't be so
that seems like a good.
personal. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Thank you. So, so now we move on to announcements and communications. Go ahead, Shayla.
Yes, I have a few. Well, this might just be super exciting to me, but we are getting new copiers for the public, and
good.
I don't know if we're maybe the last game in town, but at least at the Ceremony Library, our public copier is actually very popular, and so I think people will be happy to
check that out.
have a new
Okay.
one. We do have one last PLCAF program for the year. That's the Peninsula Library's Comic Art Fest. So it's going to be Cartooning 101 with the Cartoon Art Museum. And they're going to come out to Bayshore on April 25th from 5 to 6 p.m. Don't forget, I think I keep promoting this, but we're excited to have author Rosalis Peel is going to be doing kind of a book visit for her book Mike and Me, A Couple's Guide to Managing Alzheimer's at Home. And she's going to be attending by Zoom, but we're also going to be kind of doing a in-person Zoom over at the Bayshore. The event is going to be on May 2nd from 11 to noon. And again, if you're not a tech person and you want to just be able to join, you could go over to the Bayshore at that time and just join them, and we'll have it up on the screen. We also have we've partnered with what we've often partnered with Phase 2 Careers for a career development program for older adults. That's going to be in May on the 21st at 1 at Ceremony. And then we also are going to have some fun programs, ribbon lays for the graduates. They did this last year at John Daly Library, and they've let me know they're going to be doing it again. I don't have a date yet for that one. And then separate and apart from all of our various programs, I think you'll see us out and about. If you do attend the various community programs, we're going to be at Shine Family Day, which is May 18th from 9 to 4. That's actually, you think there's parking issues now. That's going to
Where's
be at
this at?
Gellert Park.
Oh, Gellert Park, okay.
It's going to be more people than have ever been in Gellert Park, I suspect. So that's May 18th from 9 to 4. We also are going to have our second annual Children's Day celebration. This is the Daly City Chinese Youth Committee is the ones that initiated this. And this is also at Gellert Park. And it's going to be June 8th from 11 to 2. Before that, there is the Health and Wellness Fair that's going to happen over at Pacelli Center, and we'll be there. That's in the middle of the week, May 8th from 9 to noon. The Colma Community Fair is coming up. We'll definitely be there because Colma is part of our service area, July 13th. And I just heard National Night Out was announced for August 6th. I think it's always that day.
August 6th,
August
okay,
6th,
good.
5 to 8, and that's going to be at the shopping center again. So
Where, I'm sorry?
at the shopping center.
Ceremony?
Center.
Okay, yeah.
By Buffalo Wild Wings. So
Yes.
always a good one. And we usually make any of those that we can because we want to meet people out in the community, not just inside the
Yes.
library. So
And that is a good one to do that, too. Yes.
though you bring your parka.
Yes.
So those were my announcements for the evening.
Okay, any comments from my fellow trustees? No? Okay, so now we move on to the agenda building for next meeting. Okay, so this is where we express our, okay, so I have been looking through my calendar, and it looks like next meeting, we are due for a reorg. Okay, because that next month is going to be 1 year that I have been here.
I think we typically do it in July.
In July,
but
okay,
I think we
it's fine.
had some turnover. And
Right,
so,
we had, because of, Teresa moving to the planning commission, and we had others, I forgot the other person moved, yeah. So we needed that. Okay, so in July?
Yes,
Okay, so
traditionally
we can
that's
have it
what
in
we've
July,
done, so.
okay. So we'll have that in July, okay. So to my fellow trustees, do you have any suggestions for our next agenda for the next meeting? Any,
I
wanna bring up?
I would hope to have some updates on some new library of things, as well as the projects that were funded with the Fund the Need from St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Hopefully, sometimes things don't go as quickly as I like, but
Okay,
and I know I do owe you, or we were gonna develop a guidelines for group visits, and that's still on my to-do list.
okay.
I guess I forgot which meeting it was, but I remember I was talking about like if there was a potential needs assessment from the libraries, but I'm also interested if we can get one with like the people who attend the libraries, because I do want to see like what are people like wanting, or like,
And
yeah.
I was trying to, because it can be such a, it can be a large undertaking in it, but it's good to hear that there's an interest in that. I'll do some research and see.
Trustee Goodman? Okay,
I don't
okay.
have anything.
Okay, so we don't have anything there, so next one is the adjournment of the meeting.
All right.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the meeting? Can I get a second? I make it, yeah.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the meeting for April,
Yeah.
April 16th.
April 16th.
April 16th is now closed.